felt my show had value and that I'm sorry.
So Joy Reid got fired. Yep, about damn time.
What are you doing, Bro?
That that what I was doing had value. Had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it kind of, and then it mattered. I see Karen is there and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you.
So this story is not new. If you guys been on Beyonce's internet, you probably come across it more than once, right? So Joy Reid is the type of individual that just love to spread. I think she's a chaos agent, basically. Like, her whole premise is based on white people bad, black people are victims, right? And then it gets to the point where that's overplayed, right? And you can only scare people for so long, and the rating is not actually matching what they're paying her. And independent media is actually making big moves. Like, you have like people like Tim Pools and The Quartering and all the other individual online independent. They're just making their numbers way bigger than Joy Reid. So it's obvious the whole TDS is not working no more. So the network had to get rid of her ass.
Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, that or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country.
So of course she's over here crying and stuff like that. It's like, dude, weren't you were the one that was saying some stuff about, like, white woman's tears and how easy it is and stuff like that? So they're fake crying and everything. So what makes us think that you're not fake crying?
America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like Green Waterworks.
That, I'm sorry.
White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect. Even as the right tries to politicize the idea that masculinity is being robbed from American men by multiculturalism and wokeism, they still want to be able to have their tears.
And you want to know something crazy? The obsession that a lot of these people have towards, let's say, white people or stuff like that, right? It's like, white people ain't really thinking about y'all like this. They're doing shit like this. Like,
okay, you ready? Set the angle. Okay, here we go. To the sky.
Wow, he's fast.
right? So it's easy for you to just like portray everybody in the bad light just simply for the color of their skin. But at the end of the day, it's like, racism shouldn't be profitable, right? And in the free market, people actually pay with their feet. People pay with their wallet, and people refuse to watch you because you add nothing of value and stuff. Because let's face it, what regular parents would actually advocate for things like this, right? Or support the type of things that you support, like this shit right here.
What is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anal by his adult family member. So you have pedophilia. In what context is a strap-on acceptable for public school? That's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You
the
just
name of the
remembered
author
very
doesn't
specific things.
joy.
Here's my
We're
question.
talking about
Here's my
strap.
question.
You didn't answer my question.
No. What I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that those aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
This book is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your right, or a Moms for Liberty activist's right, to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
So again, we're talking about and
each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. Right. What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story, why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that
What's
if a child feels seen by this story.
That's why I'm happy that people will no longer be subject to those types of opinions.
And the funny thing about it, though, right, you have all these people try to pretend that they have your back and stuff like that. Like, oh, we're gonna boycott MSNBC, blah, blah. Well, good. Boycott this shit. Because that whole channel doesn't add any value to people overall. Because they're only there to create divisions and chaos. And you are just an agent of chaos. And when they no longer have any use for you, they toss you aside. And now you want to claim racism. Oh, the network fires, the only black people that work there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so were they racist before or after they fired you?
Whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Which one is it? But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you feel sorry for Joy Reid for losing her job? Or you just don't care because she didn't feel sorry for anybody that was losing their job during the pandemic? As a matter of fact, she advocated for this type of crap. So yeah, let me know down below in the comment section. You know who it is. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.
The unvaccinated. You are the problem. It is the unvaccinated who are the problem. Period. End of story.
The only people that you can blame, this isn't shaming, this is the truth. Maybe they should be shamed, are the unvaccinated.
It's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Anyone you came into contact with will blame you, as will the rest of us who have done the right thing by getting vaccinated.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
I think it's time to get our moral house in order, Anderson. It's the unvaccinated who are the threat.
All those vaccinated folks are going to start wearing masks to protect the unvaccinated folks. It's called
a Christian value.
You're basically punishing the vaccinated for the sins of the unvaccinated.
People are not behaving honorably. The unvaccinated are basically saying, well, it's open season for me. I can do whatever I want as well.
The unvaccinated are basically beating their breasts and running around the country saying, we don't care, we're living free, and so forth.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
The unvaccinated, a group that includes children and people acting like children. And the rest of us are starting to get pissed off.
The vaccinated feel the unvaccinated are making me upset or angry.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
Well,